Welcome to the session. So, as I said, the first 4 sessions would be like theoretical part. We'll be discussing about certifications. We'll be discussing about configuration workbooks. We'll be discussing about release management. We'll be discussing about the roles and responsibilities of a success factors consultant and so on. After the 4 sessions, from the 5th session onwards, we'll be moving to the practical part where everyone will be given access, and then we'll be doing all of the configurations in the system. We'll take some real-time scenarios, or we'll talk about some scenarios, and then how to do that in the system. We'll do it in the sessions. Okay, so feel free to ask any kind of questions. You don't have to wait till end of the session to uh, ask your questions. Whenever you feel that you need some more information, or you want me to repeat something, or you need some additional information, yes, please stop me. We ask your questions, and I can answer. Okay. So the sessions would go on from Monday to Friday. Saturday and Sunday usually I leave it for for practice. Maybe initially you may not require that break of Saturday or Sunday, but once we start the practical part, every day we'll be discussing some new configurations. So you may have to revise and use some time for practice. Okay. So all of you who want to continue the session, one recommendation from me is, so spend the maximum time on the system. Okay, at least 1 hour. No, that's a minimum. Apart from this training, spend at least 1 hour on the system. The more you work on system, the more you learn. So there are many things. Maybe I may not be teaching all of those things that are available in the system, but when it comes to Employee Central or the THR 81, the certification course content, whatever is there, I'll be covering almost all of, not almost, all the 100% of it. But other than this, there are many other areas or many other, contents in Employee Central or in Success Factors. Okay. So if you are interested, if you are going through any of those things and you have any doubt, feel free to ask me. I can answer you. Okay. So try to spend minimum of 1 hour on the system every day. So weekends, additionally, you can spend 2 or 3 hours. That's fine. But every day, make a habit. Keep some time, and then start practicing in the system. Okay. Few things you might feel that it is easy, or there's nothing much to practice, but still, if you don't have anything, just try to explore in the system what we have, what can be done in the system. Okay. Okay. So the first topic for today is roles and responsibilities of success factors consultant. Okay. So what will we be doing after getting into success factors consultant role? Okay. So firstly, we don't have too many roles in success factors. Like in SAP, we have a lot of roles. A functional consultant who configures the system, a technical consultant who customizes the system, who builds a new screens, or who builds new all the customizations are done by the technical consultant or a ABAPer. So we have workflow consultant separately. We have basis consultant separately to set up the system. We have security or the GRC consultant who looks after the security part. Okay, so we have different roles in SAP. But here in Success Factors, we only have one role called a functional consultant, who would be configuring, customizing, okay, and looking after the other activities like RBP, security, or workflows, or anything related to the system is taken care by Success Factors consultant. Okay, so we don't have those many roles here. We only have one role. Maybe people may call the designations as associates or trainees or consultant, lead consultant, or whatever it is. So everybody does the same work. Okay, so that's the role. Then what are our responsibilities? So again, responsibilities depends on the type of projects that we work on. In SuccessFactors, we have two types of projects. One is implementation, and second is support. So what do we do in implementation? The same thing what we do in other applications. You gather the requirements from customer, you understand the process that customer want to have in the system, you see what are the gaps, what can be configured in the system, what can be customized in the system, what cannot be configured or customized in the system, and then what are the alternative solutions that you want to give it, no, in place of those requirements. Okay, so we'll be following the best practices what companies have been following. So you configure, you test, and you deploy it to the production system. So that's implementation in short. In the support, again, same thing. Once the implementation is completed, anything that comes up, no, it could be an issue, or it could be a knowledge gap, or it could be anything that your customer want to have. So you would be looking after those. Okay, and we call them the production support. Okay, call them production support. So every customer uses a different ticketing tool where they will be raising tickets. They will be creating the HR cases. So you'll have to, somebody have to own them or assign it to themselves and work on it. What exactly is the issue? Is your customer requesting for some information, or requesting to fix an issue, or requesting to update some kind of information in this in the application? So it could be anything. So that comes under support. Now this is only one part of the support. So we also have other things like the release management. Like every 6 months, SuccessFactors updates the product, and we call these release management, or we call them as 1H and 2H. First half of the year and second half of the year. Earlier, these releases were happening once in a quarter: Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. So in the recent years, they have changed it from quarterly to half yearly. Now we do the releases in 1H and 2H. And third is your change management. Apart from the production fixes, you will also be asked to implement some, or configure some additional things in the system. Maybe while doing the implementation, there is a requirement of configuring only one approval process, or 2 or 3 approval process. But now customer want to have similar workflows or the approval process to be implemented for a different processes. It could be transfer or a promotion or a termination. For any action, if you want to make change in the process, that's called the change management. Again, customer would be giving you the requirement, you understand, you give them the effort estimation, like how much effort is required to change this. You configure it, you test it, and you give it to your customer. The configuration changes, you give it to the customer. So that's the support project. So both depending on either implementation or support. Because people sometimes ask, which one is difficult? Is it implementation or support? Both of them are equally tough. At least the SuccessFactors, it is easy to configure, very easy to navigate to the configuration screens, easy to understand. Okay, both of them should have the equal amount of knowledge in support or implementation. Okay, you should have the complete knowledge of the system, knowledge of each and every page or every configuration node, what we are doing and why we are doing. So you should understand. Okay, so those are the responsibilities or roles and responsibilities of a SuccessFactors consultant. Now here, some of you are new to SuccessFactors, or some of you are new to IT industry, and some of you are new to work. Okay, maybe you're a college fresher, or just graduated, or you are looking to join one of the organization as associate or a trainee or an executive. Okay, so there are some terms which we use here. Okay, they are, first thing is a client. Who is a client? Who is a client?
The person who, or the company for whom we do the implementation.
The, the organization for whom we implement success factors. They are clients or the customers or the end users, we can call them the end users. End users who are going to use the success factors application, they are the clients or customers. Then we have implementation partner. Who is implementation partner?
The company who does the implementation for the client.
So who can do implementation? Anybody?
We ourselves can do the implementation.
No, we cannot do implementation.
Like
If you
suppose,
doesn't have the,
Certified consultant.
it's
yeah,
not certified consultant also. So implementation partner is a company or a organization who has license to implement success factors. Now I'll give you some example. So if I want to have a KFC burger or a Burger King or McDonald's burger, so where do I get? I'll have to reach out to the nearest authorized dealer or a franchisee, right? The outlet. Have to find out the KFC outlet, nearest KFC outlet. I'll not get in the supermarkets, right? If I want to have KFC burger, I'll not get that in any supermarket. You'll have to go to nearest outlet to buy that product. Now, some things are available anywhere, everywhere. Okay, few things like a brand. Okay, a KFC or McDonald's or Burger King or whatever it. So you only get there. So you'll have to go there to avail the service. The same thing, success factors cannot be implemented by all the organization. Firstly, you should be partnered with SAP. You should have license to implement success factors for customers. Now tomorrow, if I want to open an office and implement success factors, I cannot do that. Firstly, I'll have to go take license from SAP. Success factors is a SAP product. So SAP will be giving us a license. SAP cannot implement, SAP implements success factors for a lot of customers. And SAP cannot implement for all of the customers across the globe. There are thousands of customers, thousands of success factors customers. They cannot implement for all of them. So they give license to implementation partner. Now, once they have that license, we call them the implementation partner. Some of the examples are your IBM, Deloitte, Capgemini, Cognizant, and so on. I've taken the big names, but we have many other small companies who are partnered with SAP. Okay, and then third is consultant. Who is a consultant? Who's a consultant? Consultant is someone who implements, who configures the system. Implementation partner hires the consultant, and the consultant will be configuring the system for customer. Okay, so after the implementation, again the consultant will be moved to a new project. Okay, there maybe if it is a support project, they will have to support, or if it is implementation project, they can implement. So while sourcing the consultants, the implementation partner will make sure that these consultants have active certification. So certification is very important for a consultant. Now, all of us, or all of those who want to get into SuccessFactors need to have at least one certification. Now, when I say at least one certification, there are many modules in SuccessFactors, and each module has got separate certification. So you should have certification in at least one module. You can do many certifications, but at least minimum of one module certification is required to get into SuccessFactors. Without certification, you will not be able to do the configuration. So I'll give you the details. I'll tell you, in detail why why cannot a consultant implement or configure for a customer without certification. Okay, clear so far? Any doubts?
Yeah, clear.
May I take silence as no? Okay. Next topic for today is the landscape. What is the landscape? Somebody tell me what is the landscape?
Those are the systems that is used to implement
Instances.
the instance provisioning, and it is of three
Test
stages. One is
instance.
test instance, stage, and the production instances. All of these instances have
Systems, yeah, systems that
landscapes.
we configure for a customer,
Yeah,
the sequence of implementation that is done for a customer. Okay, or the architecture of a system is called the landscape. Okay, here also in SuccessFactors, we follow the three-tier architecture like development, quality, and production. This is the minimum required setup for any customer across the globe. Dev, quality, and production. The names can be different. Now, if I want to call dev as something else, X, quality as Y, and then production as Z, yes, you can do that. But the three systems that are required for all the customers across the globe are development, quality, and production. Additionally, customers can go with another system or any number of systems like a pre-production or a projects or a test system and so on. Minimum 3 is required for all customers and maximum can be any number. It all depends on customer to customer. If customer is ready to pay for additional 3 or 4 instances or systems, that's up to them. Why do they want to use an additional system? That's their wish. Maybe they want to use these systems for different purposes. They want to keep a copy of production system, or they want to implement some modules, some other modules in some instances or systems so that they can find out if everything is feasible in the system or not, whether to go in the production or not, whether they can use those modules or not. So different systems can be used for different purposes, and minimum is 3 systems: dev, quality, and production. So what do we do in development? We configure in development. The initial configuration is done in development system. So who will log in into development system? It is the consultants who would be logging into development system. Next, QA. You will be testing all the configurations that are done in development. So in development, consultants configures and consultant test the system as well. So whatever configuration that we have done, now if your customer has given you a requirement saying, I need an approval process, a 2-level approval process for transfer whenever an employee is transferred from one location to other location, the system should trigger 2 levels of approval. It should go to manager and it should go to HRBP. So let's say this is the process, and we have configured that in the development system. So initial testing we'll be doing, and that initial testing is called unit testing. And then we move this configuration to quality system or the test system. We can call it a quality or a test system. We do the testing here. So all of the scenarios, the positive and the negative scenarios. What if employee's manager is not there? What if HRBP is not tagged to the employee? So all of those scenarios will be testing here in quality or a test system. So who would be testing it? The end users or the business team would be testing the system. The business team has to test each and every process that is configured, and they'll have to sign off, they'll have to give the sign off saying that yes, whatever that has been requested is configured in the system and everything is working fine. We are go ahead to move the configuration to production system for all the employees usage. So that testing is called UAT, user acceptance testing. Okay, and the third is the production system. Production system is the actual system where every employee of the organization logs in. If we have 10,000 users in the organization, all of those 10,000 users would be logging into production system. Okay, so all end users. Consultants will also log into production system if there is any issue that needs the analysis or that needs a change. So consultant will be configuring that or doing the change in the system. So consultants will log into all the systems, but the end users will not log into development or quality. Only some business users will log into quality in the quality or the test system. Third is the production. So any other additional systems, it purely depends on customer's choice, whether they want to have the fourth one along with the three systems, okay, or they want to have two more or three more or four more, that's up to them. Pre-production is generally a copy of production. To be on safer side, you just copy all of the configuration and master data to pre-production so that anything that comes up, okay, if some issue comes up in the production system. So instead of you go and do the testing or analysis in the production system, you can replicate the scenario in pre-production system and then fix it in pre-production, see if there is any impact on the existing process. Okay, if everything works fine, move your configurations to production system. Okay, is that clear? Landscape. Again, in SuccessFactors, we have two types of systems. One is instance, or first one is provisioning, and second is called the instance. Provisioning and instance. So what do we do in provisioning? We enable all the services or the features that are required for the customer. And who can log into provisioning is the certified consultant. Only certified consultant can log into provisioning system. Okay, only certified consultants can log into provisioning system. So provisioning, we hardly do any configurations here. We just enable the services that are available. So there are thousands of features which can be used by the customers. So what is required for your customer, you find out and go enable them. Check what is required. Yes, this is required, check. This is not required, just leave it. So you'll be enabling all the services in the provisioning. Out of the entire configuration, the 5 to 10% of configuration we do it in the provisioning. Rest of the configurations are done in the instance. Do it in 90 or 95% of the configuration is done in the instance. So any consultant or anybody can log into instance. All the end users, they will be logging into instance. End users will not log into provisioning, because to log into provisioning you need certification, and end user doesn't need any certification. They will only be logging into instance. Okay, is that clear? Any doubts here?
Yeah, Vino. See, you said that pre-production, production, that remaining three system, last three. So once if we get a system, right? So we purchased it. So each and every user we need to pay for it. For example, so I need to
Yes.
test something. So
Yes.
consultant also we need to pay for it.
No, it is not the consultant. Actually, how many number of users are going to log into the system?
Okay, any kind of system we
Okay.
need to pay for to pay to a success
Yeah.
success
And
factor.
end users, let's say we want to store 1,000 employees data.
Okay.
Okay. All of these systems. Now, the base price contains these three systems: dev, quality, and production.
Okay.
So it depends upon the number of modules that you are taking from SAP. Okay. Again, the cost is not same for all the customers. So
Okay.
depends on the number of modules that you want to have it in SuccessFactors, and the number of users that are logging into the system, and the number of years that you are subscribing for. Let's say you want to have a contract of 5 years with SAP. You want to use the SuccessFactors system for next 5 years, and you have 10,000 employees in the organization. So you're taking license for, now this is for your production system only. So let's say you have 10,000 users in the organization. All of those 10,000 users would be logging into the system, right? So you'll be paying
Yeah.
for that 10,000. So it is not like one single user. 10,001 you'll have to pay some $10 or $15. No, it's not like that. So you have limit like 500 to 1,000, you pay this much. 10,000 to 15,000, you pay this much. 10,000 to 20,000, you pay this much.
Okay.
Okay. And
Yeah.
each instance, again, it depends the additional system. What do you want to make now? Here I want to have 10,000 employees. Here I want to have 5,000 employees, or 6,000 or 10,000. So the same thing. The additional system, it would be one price.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Another one.
But
So I can. Yeah. Yeah.
go
That's
ahead.
it.
The
So
base
another one I
price,
have.
you'll get these
Yeah.
three, and additional
Mhm.
any additional instances or the systems that you want, you need to pay additionally for those systems as well. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. For example, as a consultant, I'm logging in. Okay. So in quality also I can change directly configurations.
Yes, you can change in production too.
Okay, like SAP only.
Hmm.
So based upon the rules and this one restrictions will be there.
Yes. So the login is same for every user. Okay, every user will be having the ID and password to log into system. But depending on the role that they are in, if I am an employee, I can access only my data. I cannot access others' data. Maybe I can look at employees, no, just org structure or first and last name, but not all the information like compensation details or the shift schedule or maybe the grade of the employee. So those things I'll not be able to see because I'm just an employee. If I'm a manager, I'll have
Okay.
some additional access. I'm also an employee. Firstly, I'm employee of the organization. So I can do all of those activities what employees doing because I am also an employee. Additionally, because some people are reporting to me, some employees are reporting to me, as I'm given a role called a manager. So maybe I'll have to transfer some employees, I'll maybe have to promote some employees or terminate employees. So I can do all of these things as a manager. I can only transfer my direct reports, not someone else works in a different department or a different location. I cannot access. Again, there will be a restriction up to only the direct reports of that manager. If I am a HR manager, I should have access to all employees' data. I should have access to hire employee. I should have access to terminate the employee. I should have access to promote the employee. So I'll have additional permissions there. A consultant, along with all of these activities, I should also be doing the configuration. The end user cannot configure. End user system will not show the configuration because the end user's role doesn't require configuration. Okay, but if you have granted, then they'll be able to see.
Okay. So that means best practices, you should not do that any changes in the QE and production, right?
Usually the practice what we follow is any change that you want to have in the system. Now your customer will not allow you. Your customer has to approve the change that you are planning to move. Let's say you're given some task. So you should go first, do it in the development, test it, move it to quality system, get the sign off from the customer business team, whoever has given the requirement, they will have to sign off. They'll have to test and give the sign off saying that yes, all of those configurations or all of those requirements what we have given are fulfilled in this configuration. Okay, now the configuration can be moved. They will be giving you sign off. Based on that sign off, the approval, will be moving the configuration to production system, because every year some auditing will be going on. The auditors will audit the system. Who has changed the data? Why a particular configuration is changed? What actions are initiated for the employees, or why the employees are terminated or promoted, or they should go and check each and every document related to that process. Now, if you have changed some configuration, then you should tell them why you have changed, who has asked you that change, where is the approval, where are the documents related to this configuration. So you need to show all of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clear? Any other doubts, others?
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, you talked about the provisioning and the instance, and you mentioned that all the features required for the consultant is enabled at provisioning, and it has to be a certified consultant.
Hmm.
Then you talked about the instance, and you said at the instance level that the end users they logged in, and so what basically or particularly are they doing at the instance level?
At instance level, see, provisioning, we are doing only 5 to 10% of the configuration. Meaning, now within Employee Central, there are many features. So we have global assignment, we have concurrent employment, we have contingent workers, we have time off, we have position management, we have languages which can be enabled. So you can enable any of those switches. Now, if you want to use a particular functionality, let's say global assignment. I'll give you an example. Global assignment is required for a customer who operates from different countries and who has their employees in different countries. Now, whenever there is a requirement of a resource in another country, so the employee will be moved to another country. So moving the employee from one country to other country for a short or a long-term assignment is called the global assignment. You're based at India, but due to some project work, you are going to some other country and working there. And then once the project is completed, you will be coming back to India again. That's the global assignment. So when the employee is on global assignment, you will see two records. One, the home assignment, and second, the global assignment. Okay, maybe when the employee is on global assignment, he or she may be reporting to a different person. When the employee is back to home assignment, again, the employee would be reporting to a different manager in that location or in that country. Now, this is not required for all the customers. If a customer is operating only from one country, there is no concept of global assignment. We don't have to configure global assignment. So if you want to configure global assignment, first you go enable the switch in provisioning. And then what are the event reasons or the transactions that you want to perform on global assignment? What fields you want to show up while transferring the employee? What fields you'll have to change? The employee's location is changed. When the employee's location is changed, the number of hours will be changed, or no, the timing might change. The cost center will, cost center can be changed. Manager can be changed. So all of these fields are to be available in the global assignment process. If there are any approvals to be configured, maybe when employee goes on a global assignment, there is some cost involved in that process. So you need to take approval from finance, you need to take approval from manager, you need to take approval from department head, and so on. So the entire process you will be configuring in the instance. The process is done in the instance, the configuration is done in the instance. And in the provisioning, you're just enabling that feature. I want to use this feature, go just enable it. But after enabling it, there are many configurations which we will have to do. That we do it in the instance. Okay?
It's okay.
Clear?
It's all right.
Yeah. Any other doubts?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So we'll talk about a small topic. So we have something called SAP Launchpad. SAP Launchpad, or they are calling it now SAP for me. Okay. Now you are stuck up with some configuration. Your customer has given you some requirement. You're trying to configure, but no, you're getting some error. You're stuck up with that error. So how do we fix that? So you can go and
We'll
check
raise it.
the knowledge base articles related to that configuration in Launchpad. So there is a portal called Launchpad where you'll be logging in and creating a ticket, or if there are if that issue already exists, or if that for that issue, if somebody has already done some documentation, you can go through that documentation. Maybe while hiring the employee, at the end of the process, I'm trying to submit the record, system is giving you the error message. You copy paste that error, okay, from your system to Launchpad. System gives you the probable searches now related to that topic. Error while hiring. So system will show the KBS, we call them KBS, knowledge base articles. It explains you in detail what exactly is the issue, what is causing that issue, how do we fix that issue. Okay, they will be giving all those configuration steps, or if required, they'll also be giving the screenshots of the configuration that you will have to do. Okay, so that we do it in the Launchpad. Now, if you are looking for something which is not available in KBS, there is no KBA on the related topic, then you can create a ticket with SAP. Create a ticket with SAP, ask them to fix it. So SAP would be fixing that issue. Okay, so that we do it in the Launchpad. There's a portal called Launchpad. I'll be showing you that in the tomorrow's session. Okay, you need the login credentials to log into Launchpad. Okay, every customer that you work with, that customer would be giving you the ID and password. So you'll have to log into Launchpad and then report the issues that you are getting. SAP would be answering. So you have different priorities like very high priority, medium priority, and low priority. Now, if you face some issue in the development, you cannot create a ticket with very high priority. Generally, development is the configuration that you do. You'll have to do a lot of testing, you'll have to do a lot of configuration and so on. There's no impact on the process. If something happens in the production system, like maybe users are unable to log in or the workflows are not triggering or no any kind of issue that has stopped the process. Okay, those kind of issues, we create a ticket with high priority. So again, we have high, very high, high, medium, and low. So generally, if you get any issue somewhere here, dev and quality, you consider them as either low or medium, depending on the situation. Even in production, if something has come up and you are creating a ticket, you need to justify what is the business impact. With the issue that you're facing, what is the business impact? If there is no impact, or if you have some alternate solution, then you cannot create it as a very high or a high priority ticket. If there is no option, there is no alternative, no system is down, users are unable to log in, then you create a very high priority ticket. That you do it in the Launchpad. Clear? Any doubts here? Launchpad. So far we have discussed about the roles and responsibilities. Within roles and responsibilities, depending on the type of the project that we have, whether it is implementation or the support. So if you want to do any implementation for any customer, okay, so how many, generally, if you are implementing SAP or somebody who has already worked on SAP, you can tell me how many months or how many days does it take to implement? Do we have a fixed time?
Based on the business process complexity, right?
Yes, based on customer's requirement. So sometimes some customer may say that you give me whatever is available in the system, I'll manage. So you'll just have to configure what is available in the system. You don't have to worry about the customizations, custom processes. Anything that is available, just configure it and share it with the customer. So the minimum time that is required for any project to be implemented or any success factors can be implemented for a customer is minimum time is 3 months. 3 months is what I have worked for one of the customer. One module, 3 months. Third month we have delivered. So usually it takes anywhere between 3 to 6 months or 3 to 1 year, 3 months to 1 year. Maximum can go up to a year. Okay, not more than that. So that 1 year is also too much. So you should be completing it in like the project plan. They'll be giving all the activities like development. You'll have to complete in 2 weeks. Then testing, you'll have to do it in 4 weeks or 3 weeks. And then any changes that are to be reconfigured, maybe 1 week. Again, move it to quality. This time it is 1 week. Then move it to production. So it would be between anywhere between 3 months to 1 year. So people might ask you the questions in interview. Every interview that you face, the first thing that your interviewer or the implementation partner asks you is whether you have the active certification or not. If you say that you don't have certification, then they'll say, how have you implemented success factors to the customer? You cannot say that, no, I don't have certification, but I have worked on end-to-end implementation. So what is end-to-end implementation? Can anybody tell me what is end-to-end implementation? You have not
Sequence
written
of
in your
steps are there.
profiles? Sorry, Snuba?
Some sequence of steps are there, starting from provisioning um, till the last
End-to-end
release.
meaning the starting from the client interaction. Okay, getting down the requirements from the customer, configuring it in the system, testing it in the system, then fixing all the issues, all the identified issues. Again, test and then migrate or push the data to production system. So we'll be discussing in tomorrow's or day after tomorrow's, we'll be discussing about the methodology that is followed to implement success factors for the customer. So all of those phases, okay, if you are part of all of those phases, you can say that you have done one or two end-to-end implementations. Okay, any
Okay.
doubts? We'll be stopping it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow with some other topics. So tomorrow we'll be covering
Just
certification part
Sorry,
and the management.
can you explain the end-to-end implementation again? Because you said it's starting from the customers, interaction, configuring, testing,
Yes,
reaching, and
we'll be discussing in detail about the implementation methodology. So we'll be in day after tomorrow's session we'll be looking at the implementation process. How do we start? What we'll have to do in the configuration? What who does the unit testing? Who does the UAT? Who does the migration? So all of these things, each and every activity will be discussing in the methodology.
then also
Okay.
you mentioned
So implementation is generally for a customer who doesn't have success factors with them. So you are implementing or you're configuring the system as per their requirement. So how do you know their requirement? You'll have to go sit with them, understand their requirement, document it, and then the documentation what you have done, convert that into configuration. So all of those configurations that you have done, are they working fine? You'll have to test it. They are working fine, move it to production and ask your customer to use the process. That's implementation. Starting from interaction with the customer till moving the changes to production and the end users using the product. That's called the implementation.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, one more thing. You mentioned about project that should be completed within. I didn't get that because you mentioned
So
2 to
it
3
all
weeks for the
depends on
testing
project
and
to project. It all depends upon project to project. No need not to be completed or not all projects are completed in 3 months or 4 months. So all depends upon the requirement that we have or the customizations that we are doing, the processes that we have to implement. So it all depends on all of these activities that we do.
okay,
Okay.
all right.
just one doubt, Venu. So who all will be having the access for Launchpad? All the certified
Launchpad.
consultants can.
So to have the Launchpad access, you don't need certification. Even the end users, some of the business users will also have the Launchpad access. Anybody who
Correct.
want
I
to
was
create a
using it.
ticket.
When I was doing some UAT from the business requirements, like from an end user end, I was using, but however, I was using somebody else's credentials. So who can get that credentials? Only certified ones,
No,
or a end user.
no, anybody can have that. It is not the only the end. Generally, it is given by your customer.
Okay.
Launchpad access is given by customer. If you request that I want to create a ticket create with SAP, create a ticket with SAP, they'll be granting you the access.
Okay, got
To
it.
get the or to have the Launchpad access, you don't need certification.
Certification.
Certification is not required. Nothing to do with the certification.
Okay.
Certification is required to do the implementation, particularly for the provisioning. For
Okay.
instance configuration, you don't need any certification. But when you're hired, you'll be asked whether you have the active certification or not. That builds the confidence, that brings the confidence to the customer that this employee has the enough knowledge on the product. He or she is certified by SAP. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk more about certification and the configurations of the release management in tomorrow's session. Have a great day. Thank you. So what did we discuss yesterday? We discussed about the roles and responsibilities of a SuccessFactors consultant, and then we discussed about the landscape. So we'll be discussing more on the Launchpad, after maybe probably tomorrow's session. Maybe on Monday we'll discuss more on the Launchpad. Today we are going to discuss on the release management. Very important, release management. So this batch has the privilege of now looking at the release management, because by next weekend SuccessFactors is going to update or upgrade to the new version called 2H 2023. So what is release management? Before getting into release management, you need to understand the architecture more. So we discussed yesterday that any customer who goes with SuccessFactors will have three systems: development, quality, and production. And some customers, you may see that they'll have additional systems called pre-production or projects or test, or one or more of those instances. Okay, now the SuccessFactors systems are divided into two parts, which is provisioning and instance. Further, each of these instance, now we discussed about these two, right? Provisioning and instance. Now, if you have three systems, dev, quality, and production, you'll find dev instance, quality instance, production instance. And provisioning, dev provisioning, quality provisioning, and production provisioning. So this is dev instance, quality
Very sorry to
instance.
interrupt.
Hmm.
Yeah,
What's that?
can you tell me the difference between this provision and the instance?
Provisioning and instance. Provisioning is something which we use it to enable the functionalities, and this can be only logged in by the certified consultants. Only the certified consultants can log into provisioning, and we do a 5 to 10% of the configuration, the entire configuration. 5 to 10% of configuration is done in the provisioning, and rest of the 90 to 95% we do it in the instance. So what do we do in provisioning is we enable the required services. We'll have all the checkboxes whichever is required for your customer. Within Employee Central, we have many options. We have Employee Central time off, we have EC time sheets, we have position management, we have global assignment, we have concurrent employment. So all of these features, if they are required for your customer, you just go and enable them. Once you enable these features in the provisioning, you will find the related configurations in the instance. In instance, you will have to do the actual configuration. You'll just enable that feature in provisioning and do the configuration in the instance. Okay, so prod
Okay. So this,
instance.
yeah, provisioning system is this, the consultants who are certified, they are only able to access this provisioning system, right?
Yeah, only the certified consultants will have access to provisioning systems. So that's why
Okay.
the first thing that the interviewer asks you in your interviews is whether you have active certification or not. If you have certification, you'll get provisioning access. Okay, in
Okay.
each and every project, you'll have to log into provisioning system. The first thing that we do is log into provisioning, enable all the services that are required for your customer, and then come to instance and do the rest of the configuration. If you don't do this 5 to 10% of configuration in the provisioning, you will not be able to do this 90 to 95% in the instance. Okay.
So is certification is mandatory that you need to do it? Or?
Yes, certification is mandatory. Okay, so you'll have instance and provisioning. Now further, your instances and the provisionings are divided into two parts. Okay, all of these, now whatever data that we store, process or manage in these instances or in these provisionings, now all of this data goes and sits somewhere in the servers, and these servers are called data centers. So we have data centers in each region. That means you have one data center in US, one data center in Australia and New Zealand, one data center you have in Middle East, one data center you have in UK or Germany. So we have different data centers, and the customers of that particular region, all the customers of US will have their systems routing to that particular data center, and these data centers are numbered as DC4, DC2, DC8, DC50, DC60, DC20 and so on. So they have these numbers as well. So let's say DC4 is of US based, so all of the customers of US will have their data in this data center DC4. If the data center 8 is for UK, so all the customers of UK, when they save the data, that gets stored in the same data center DC08 and so on. Okay, now the data center is divided into two parts. Every data center, let's say, we'll take an example of DC4. So DC4 is split into two parts, which is DC4 preview and DC4 production. DC4 preview and DC4 production. So all of these instances and the provisioning, these will be either in the DC4 preview or in the DC4 production. Okay. Now the customers of US, let's say we have customer 1, and customer 2. Okay, let's say we have this 10 customers in US. So everybody will have dev, everybody will have quality, everybody will have production system. Okay, all of them will have dev, quality and production. Additionally, maybe this customer has got pre-production, this customer has got quality, this customer has got test, this customer has got projects, this customer has got pre-prod and test, this customer has got test and projects. Okay, and this customer has got pre-prod, test and projects. So different customers will have different instances and the provisionings. So this has, now this customer 8 has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, total of 6 systems. This customer has got 5, this customer has got 5, this customer has got 4, 4 and 4, and these customers have 3 systems each. Now all of these instances and the provisionings will be routing to one of the data center, and the thumb rule is always the production would be in production data center. So this would be DC4 prod for all the customers. All the customers production system will be in DC4 production only, and this can be in 04 prod. This would be in DC4 preview. This would be in DC4 preview. This can be either in preview or in prod. This can be either in preview or in prod. Now all of these things can be either in DC04 or DC04 preview or DC04 production. Okay, so minimum of one system should be in the preview, and production should always be in the production data center. So usually dev and production in the production data center, quality in the preview data center. And these systems can be either in preview or in production. That purely depends upon the customer to customer. Okay, now we can say this is DC04 preview. This is DC04 prod, DC04 preview. Okay, now if you look at this table, let me draw. This customer has got two, no, let me color this. Okay, this is preview. So this is all preview. So this is production and this is preview. So this customer has got three systems in preview, 1, 2, and 3. So 3 DC04 preview and 3 systems in DC04 production. This customer has got 2 in the preview and 1, 2, 3 in the production. Okay, so we'll see here 2 in preview and 3 in production. So why these systems are split into 2 parts, DC04 and 0. This is DC04 preview and DC04 production. Now similarly, you'll also have DC08 preview, DC08 production, DC50 preview, DC50 production. Okay, now why SuccessFactors has split these data centers into 2 parts is because of the release management. When the release management happens, release happens in the preview systems for all the customers on a single day across the globe. Okay, whichever region the customer is in, DC previews, data center preview data centers gets updated first. And after a gap of 1 month, 30 to 35 days, now the same release happens in the production system. So why do we have a gap of 1 month? It will not directly update in the production data center. First, it always happens in preview data center. We log into preview systems. We see that the new upgrades, now new upgrade has happened. All of the new features gets updated in the system. Okay. And then we'll have to go through each and every release feature, understand what is that, and see if there is any impact on the existing processes. Now, for doing all of these things, we have a time of 1 month before it gets into the production system. So before it moves to production system, if you feel that there is something which is impacting the existing configuration, you can always escalate it to SAP, saying that after this release, so and so functionality is not working correctly. Earlier it was working, or in production it is working fine, but in preview systems it is not working. So SAP will be looking into that issue, whether if they can fix that issue before production release, they'll do it. Otherwise, they will hold that particular functionality getting into production system. So that's why we have a time of 1 month or 1 month plus 5 days. So the next release that is going to happen is on 20th of October, and this is in preview. Always the preview always the preview instances get updated first, and then 17th November we have production release. So almost close to 30 days here. Before it gets updated in the production system, we'll have to complete our testing and the analysis. So how do we know what is going to come? What are the release features? So you will find all of this information in a portal called community.successfactors.com. Okay, just let me log into community.successfactors.com. So once you log in here, okay, so scroll down, you will find here product release and roadmap information. And scroll down, you see release schedule. First half of 2023 happened on 28th April in preview system, and the production system it happened on June 2nd. The second half, which is going to happen now, is going to update on 20th October in preview systems and 17th November in production system. Okay, now what is going to come, that you can see here. Now what's new, we were 2H available October 13th, today is 12th. Tomorrow you will see all the new release features which are going to come in the preview systems. Okay, here you can find all of that information. Now we'll see only 1H 2023. You see here 1H 2023. So tomorrow you will see here software version of 2H 2023 here, and you'll find all the release functionalities. Now last release we had around 457 entries, 457 new release features, and you can also filter on the modules that you want to see. So this is all the 457 are in SuccessFactors. Now you just enable the modules that you want to see. Within Employee Central, we have around 153. Have 153 release features. So there are different types of release features. There are different types of release features. So they are automatically on. First one is automatically on. This we were calling them as universal features. Before 2023 release, we were calling them as universal features. And then we have customer configured, and contact enablement partner. And there's one more thing, which is contact product support. Contact product. These are basically all the release features. They are split into these parts. Automatically on, customer configured, and these we were calling them as admin opt-ins earlier. Contact enablement partner. Okay, now these we were calling them as provisioning opt-ins. Okay, and production support, production support meaning you will have to approach SAP to enable those features. Very few features, okay, which are available after that particular release. If you want to use them, you need to contact production support. That means SAP. Now, what are the differences between these release features? The first one is automatically on. Some features which are categorized as automatically on, these are applicable for all the customers. We don't have to do anything. 20th October, all of those features with automatically on gets updated in the systems. When you log into preview system after 20th October, you will see all those changes in the system. Whether you use it or not, it gets updated in the system. That's automatically on. There are some features which you can control. If you want to use it, you go do some configuration to see that feature. So those are called customer configured or admin opt-ins. We were calling them as admin opt-ins because admins can opt in or opt out. If you want to use it, go configure. You don't want to use it, you don't configure it. They are called customer configured. And some features we'll have to enable them in the provisioning. So customers will not be able to do it because customers will not have provisioning access. It is the implementation partner who will have access. So we call them those features as contact enablement partner. And the last one is the production support, which can be enabled by SAP. So these are the release features which are going to come in preview systems on 20th October. Okay, so just before 1 week of the release, like 13th October, now what did they say here? What's new viewer 2H available on October 13th. 1 week before, you will see all the functionalities. Now you can go and check here what are the release features that are going to come. So this explains each and every release feature. Now let's say if I want to see more on this, just click on see more. It opens up about the release feature. What exactly is this? What is going, what is the impact, or if there is any configuration, what configurations we have to do. Okay, it explains all of the information. Now some features you will also see these screenshots as well. This is what is changed in the system. Okay, clear? Any doubts here? Yes, no?
Venu,
Hmm.
so as you said, it will go for the previous system, right? So when I want to check that admin config things, so can I able to do it in quality system or how it will be?
Only in preview. So if this happens, okay, now if you see here, what's changed, how it looks now. Okay, and how was it looking earlier? Now you'll also see how was it looking earlier. So what is changed? This is changed. Okay, so if there is any configuration, they'll also give configuration. Now, whenever the release happens in preview first, that means this is my preview system. After 20th October, when if you log into preview systems, if you log into preview system, you will see the change. You will see all of these changes in the quality system. Now here, automatically on or universal changes, you will see them directly. For looking at the customer configured release features, you will have to go and do the additional configuration. What configurations you have to do? Now they will give the configuration requirement. So you will have to go to this particular feature and then enable this functionality.
So directly we can do it
Okay.
in the quality itself.
Yes, you can directly do it in the quality system or whichever preview system that you have. Now, this customer has got multiple preview systems, 1, 2, 3. Now, whichever system you want to do, you can go and do that change.
Okay.
Okay, same thing when the production release happens. If you want to do that feature, you will have to do it in the production also after 17th November. Customer configured. If it is automatically on, you don't have to do it. It gets automatically updated after 17th November in production systems also. Okay, clear on release. So
Yeah.
every
Oh,
release.
yeah. Then what about this development?
Which development? Development is a production system, right? So all of this gets updated on 17th November. These systems will get updated on 20th October.
Okay, got it.
Okay, yellow ones gets updated on 20th October. And white ones gets updated on 17th November. Now,
So, do
here,
we have to do the same thing in the production also?
now if it is the release, if you're talking about the release, you don't have to do anything. on after this date, 17th November, you will see the changes in the production system. Now,
Production system.
how will I know whether it is updated in my system or not? You go to SuccessFactors page, okay, and just click on show version information. It shows you the release here. 2305, 23 meaning year, and 05 is the month. So this is the 1H 2023 release. The next release, you will see it as 2311. 11 is the now 11 is a November, which is the production release. You will see the release as 2311. Okay, so all the systems across the globe gets updated to 2311 on 20th October. The previews. Okay, same thing on 17th November, all the production systems gets updated. And you'll see the version as 2311. Now, after 20th, if you log into quality, you'll see it as 2311. But here, if you log into dev or production, you'll still see it as 2305. That means the SuccessFactors instance or the SuccessFactors application is installed in this data center. The application is installed in the data center. Okay, so here the data center is getting updated. The application in the data center is getting updated so that all of those customers who are using this data center see the latest release. It is not per customer, it is per data center.
So, customer data center, who will decide? For example, customer one wants development in preview. Okay, so the who will decide that?
Basic setup. Now, basic setup, when you approach SAP for subscription, they'll give you these three systems. Okay, when you subscribe, they'll say because of the customer's region. Okay, so the SAP will be giving them the data center details. Like you'll have three systems: dev, quality, and production. Dev and production, the standard setup is dev and the production system will be in the production data center, and quality or test system will be in the preview data center. That's the usual setup. Additional instance or additional system that I want to configure, now you have a choice there. You want to have it in the preview or in the production. That's up to the customer. But this is fixed.
This three system is fixed.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Venu, earlier you said preview one production will always be in a data center for no matter which country the customer is from. Is it correct?
No, it is not
No.
the country. So
Okay.
so why these data centers are split into different regions is, now if the release is to happen on 20th October. What is 20th October? 20th October is Friday. And this happens in the midnight of Friday. So for all the Indian customers, on the midnight of Friday, let's say after 12 a.m. on the early hours of Saturday. Okay, so it gets updated. That means the customers of India will see the release features first, because at the time of midnight of Saturday, early hours of Saturday, early mornings of Saturday, that is the Friday evening or Friday afternoon for US. Now, what is the time in US? It is like for India it is 7:33 p.m. right? But for US it is 7:33 a.m. or maybe 7 a.m. or 6:30 a.m. or 6 a.m. depending on the region.
Right.
Right. That means they are 12 hours or 13 hours back of India. So release happens for US in their midnight of Friday or early hours of Saturday. And for India, it should happen midnight of Friday or early hours of Saturday. So that's why we have different data centers, and all of these data centers gets updated in their respective time zones.
Okay. So for this explanation, I've used US as an example only, right?
Yes, I've given you an example of DC4 in US.
Okay. Thanks, man. Yeah.
Okay, clear for everyone on the release? So what will we do in release?
Sorry, excuse me. Talk about the contact enablement partner. Can you explain more?
Contact enablement partner. Okay, contact enablement partner meaning so only things which can be done by your implementation partner. Right. What can be done by implementation partner? The provisioning settings. Because the certified consultants are with partner, implementation partner. Right. Certified consultants will not be with the customer. They will be with implementation partner. So some features which are to be done or which are to be enabled in the provisioning, they are called contact enablement partner or provisioning opt-ins. You'll have to log into provisioning to enable or disable that service. And who can do is the only certified consultant can do that. So that's why they call it enablement partner, contact enablement partner. Okay, so if you go and see here, you can, now if I filter on only contact enablement partner, there will be very few settings. Okay, so probably see here, only one. This is the only one feature which is in contact enablement partner. They'll give you a screenshot as well. New configuration for short-term disability USA. Configuration requirement, you must be using employee central time off. You must have configured absence pay policy. Okay, so this is the prerequisite. What's changed? This is changed. Okay, and how it looks now. In the current version, you can configure short-term disability for US at the employee level. The previous version could only configure short-term disability for US using a time type. That's the change in the system. Okay, so how to configure? You have links here. Configure an absence pay schema and this one for USA. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, clear.
For every customer configured, okay, for every customer configured features, you will have to do some configuration. Okay, so this is the release feature. You go here, there is some configuration requirement. Okay, so this needs to be done. Only if it is there, then you can see this change, see this feature. And some of the release features you will also see the videos. You see here demo. There is one release feature which has got a demo as well. So this will, now this is a recorded video. Okay, less than a minute video without any audio. It just shows you what exactly is that release feature. Where can I see event-based position follow process. They're just navigating and showing us. Okay, so what is the change that has come? Okay, that means system will send a notification if you do this thing. And you go to admin alerts, go to position follow process. You'll see that on 25th, there is a process which has happened. Okay. You'll see that's the video. Some of the release features you will find the demo as well. So for this one you have demo, for this one you have demo. That's it. Okay. So these are customer configured. And similarly, you have automatically on. Unavailable means maybe some of the release feature they have stopped moving into production system. These are automatically on. All these features are automatically on. Maybe some features unavailable. This one. I think one of the feature they have stopped it. Monitor jobs tool in the admin center reached end of maintenance on December 9, 2022 and will be deleted on so and so date. Okay, so this is unavailable. Some features which they have removed. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, so this web page which you are sharing to us will only be available for the account holders, or anyone can look into this. Like
Anyone
me.
with S user ID can log into.
Mhm.
Now you need to have a S user ID. We'll be talking more about S user ID in the certification in next 5 minutes.
Okay.
If you have S user ID, you can log into community.successfactors.com. Who will have S user ID? Any certified consultant, any end user, okay, or any admin will have the S user ID. Customer can also create S user IDs. Okay, so this is for everyone who is part of SuccessFactors. It can be a consultant or it can be a customer. You can log into Community SuccessFactors to know more about the upcoming releases or the events that are happening in SuccessFactors or SAP. Clear on release management. So what would be our role in the release management? Once the release happens on 20th October or tomorrow it is going to update in tomorrow, all of the release feature, they will you will see them here in this page. 1H2, 2H 2023. You can download them, can download a CSV file or Excel file and go through each of those release features and see what are applicable for your customer. And 20th of October, when you log into the system, you will see all of those features getting updated in the system. Tomorrow, they will just release the information. And 20th October, you will see them in the system. So you can start testing each of those release feature. So as a consultant, you go download the release features, make a note of those release features which are applicable. Now within Employee Central, there are many features. Now all of the features will not be used by all customers. If your customer is using a particular functionality and if there is a change in that release, so you'll have to go through that change. So document it. How was it looking earlier and how is it looking now? What is the change? If an end user should know about this change, then document it and project it to your customer, saying that after 17th of November, the end users, all of the end users in the organization will see or will have to follow this process because there is a change in the release. So you'll have to test it if it is working fine or not, and if there is any change to the standard operating procedures for your customer, you will be changing the documents as well. Okay, and you'll be presenting it to the customer. Customer should know. Now some changes would be on the configuration. You don't have to explain that configuration to the customer. That's up to the consultants. Now maybe some feature which was not available before release is now available in the system. That is for you. As a consultant, you should know that what is available in the system and what is not available in the system. That you should know. Okay. Clear on release management?
When you say it has to be documented after the release by the consultant, what are the changes has been done, it has to be documented. Right. So, is there any template to document it, or
No,
it is
there's
for
nothing
our
like a
reference?
template. It is for our reference. Like we generally do it in the PPTs, PowerPoint
Okay.
presentation. Each release feature, one slide for each release feature. Okay, explaining what exactly is that. Take screenshots from preview and production. So if you go log into production after 20th, you will see the old screen. And if you log into previous system after 28th October, you'll see the latest screen. So you take both the screenshots and tell the customer that this is how we have in system now. After 17 November, you will see this as this latest screen. If there is a change in the screen.
Right.
If it is functionality change, then you need to explain this is how we are doing it now, and going forward after 17 November we'll be doing in this way.
Okay. So in the preview it will be updated automatically. So consultant has to compare the both production and the preview. Okay.
Yes.
Then he has to present it to the customer. Then customer, based on his requirement, he'll give us a signal that this has to be implemented in production.
No.
Only then we'll go ahead and not like that.
Yes. For automatically on, even customer cannot do anything. Customer cannot say that I don't want to use this. No. It is getting updated for all the customers across the globe. There is no change. There will not be any change in the automatically on features. What customer can request is for the customer configured these options, these opt-ins, because these are configurable features. You want to use it, you go enable or do some changes in the system. You don't want to use it, just leave it as it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Shaina, Rashmi, Josh, clear?
Yeah, we
Nokul, Banu Prakash.
Yeah.
I think
What about
Banu
the
has
contact
answered.
product support?
Sorry? I'm sorry.
The next one after contact enablement partner, then we should contact product support.
Contact product support. Now let's go and see some contact product support also. I'll just remove this. Any features which are going to come in the system, again, this will be limited. Okay. For them, you need SAP Employee Central Payment Information allows you to configure, use additional payments. So for this, if you want to use this functionality, you need to create a ticket or check with SAP. SAP would be updating this for you. Okay. Configuration requirements, you see this payment, you'll have to go to this KBA.
So it's basically for additional features.
Yes, additional features. Okay.
Okay.
Okay then. So moving to next topic, which is on the certification. So because every implementation, we have to do some configuration in the provisionings, and to log into provisioning, we need certification. Only certified consultants can log in. So every aspirant who want to get into SuccessFactors is required to do this certification in at least one module. So we have certification for each module. Like Employee Central, we have a certification. We have time off certification for time off, performance management, compensation, LMS, succession, and so on. So for all the modules, we have certification. So we should have at least one certification, either in Employee Central or in other modules. Then only you will be able to get the provisioning system access, and you can do the configuration in the provisioning. Right. So where can we do this certification? To do the certification, you will have to log into a portal called training.sap.com. Okay. The portal called training.sap.com/certification. So anybody can register here. Anybody can register here and go and look at view SAP certifications. So the certification code for Employee Central is THR81. You need to have certification of THR81. So THR 81 contains 80 multiple choice questions, MCQs. Okay, and you need to get 64% to pass this certification. That means is equal to 80 into 64, close to 51. So you need to get 52 to pass the certification. You need to answer 52 questions correctly to pass the certification out of 80. Anything above 52 questions is passed. Anything below 52 is failed. So the time for your certification is 3 hours. You'll be given 3 hours of time. You can take this examination or certification from your home or from anywhere that you want to do. What you need to have is a webcam, okay, because throughout your examination somebody would be assisting you, okay, or proctoring you. We call them proctors. A proctor will be assisting you before starting of the examination. Proctor will take control of your system and see the place where you are sitting, okay. If you have opened any of the applications, if you have opened any applications like Word or Excel or PowerPoint or any page, you'll have to close all of those things before the examination starts. And you should not keeping any kind of material with you, so they will be watching you the three hours. Any kind of help you need, like technically if there is a problem, they'll help you out. They'll not, you cannot ask them the question, they will not know the questions. 3 hours, 80 multiple choice questions, and some multiple choice questions you will see multiple answers. Okay, wherever you have only one answer out of four or five options that they give, if it is only one answer, you will see a radio button. Radio button is that round buttons. You just have to dot, select or put dot in it. Wherever you have multiple answers, they'll specify that question. They'll specify that this question has got 2 answers or this question has got 3 answers, and you need to answer all of them correctly. There are no negative marks. You'll find check boxes there. You can select multiple answers. So some of the questions you'll see multiple answers. Okay, clear? And there are 2 certification subscriptions. One is 6 attempts and second one is 1 attempt. Okay, if I go here, certification validities. Now you see these are all certifications. I will search for THR 81. This one. See THR 81. You see the version 2305. Latest version what we have is 2305. Maybe after 1 month, 2 months, maybe after 2 months this will change to 2311. But as of now, if you want to do certification, you'll be doing it in 2305 version. Go to view details. You see, exam contains 80 questions. Cutoff score is 64%. Duration is 180 minutes. Okay, and scroll down. You see 2 subscriptions. You have CER 006, which is 6 attempts. That means today, if I'm writing or doing my certification, if I fail here, I can use my another attempt. So I have up to 6 attempts, right? So I can use next attempt to do the same certification. I fail second attempt, you can use third attempt. But here CER 001 have only 1 attempt. This cost, if in INR it is 17,000 change plus taxes, and then 44,000 change plus taxes. This is 6 attempts and this is 1 attempt. If you fail here, then again you need to purchase another attempt with 17,000 or close to 18, 19,000 or 20,000. Okay. Whereas here you'll get 6 attempts. You can use 6 different certifications. Let's say I've passed in the first attempt, EC. I want to do compensation, you can do compensation or learning or PMGM or succession, any module can do. Okay. You want to see some sample questions, how it shows up? Let's go to view more. Okay. So you will find some information out here, what can be done. Let's say continue, you can read that. See here, time here, there is a sample, so you have 5 questions. And time remaining here, they have given you 20 minutes. Okay, which person, object, supported, country specific, you just go. Now, there are 2 correct answers. So you have here check boxes. You have check boxes. You can select multiple answers. Next question. You see, this is radio button. This is radio button. You can only select one option. Next question. Next question. This is also radio button. I'm just selecting some random answers. 2 correct answers. 2 correct answers. Then now, after 5 questions, submit. There are some scenario based questions also, 5 scenario based questions. Okay, you need to answer them as well. How will you create cross entity rule for car allowance? Well, they have given some answers here. Okay, I'll just select random ones. Okay, just put some and say submit. Immediately after you submit, you'll get your score. Your score is 60%. If it is 60, you are failed. You'll have to take again. 64% is pass. 60% is failed. Okay, now this is for only 10 questions. So 60% here. Clear? And certification?
Madam, since we are taking training for EC now, so when do you think for us is the best time to take the EC certification? Because if we take now,
So
it will be for, yeah, go ahead, yeah.
yes, after November 17th, okay, after November 17th, anytime it can be between before December 31st, they will be releasing new version. Okay, if you do the new version, that would be great. That's
So
again valid
before
for
that,
next
if we
6 months.
try to give interview, so if the interviewer asks whether I've done certification, so what do you
So
think should be the
if
correct answer?
interviewer asks you whether you have certification, you can say that you have certification. Nobody knows whether you have a certification or not. But before joining any organization, you should make sure that you do your certification and go with certification.
Okay.
No one can check whether you have active certification or not.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so we have just started the training, right? So by the time we complete, so it would be like November 17th only, 1 month from now. Right. 5 hours or 5 days a week into, we have 25 sessions, 5 into 5, 25, 5 weeks, right? 35 days.
Yeah.
So today's 12th of October, so it closely it comes, you know, somewhere November 17th or 20th we'll be completing our course. Okay, so we have Dasara in between, we have a couple of holidays, maybe Diwali also in between. Okay, so it goes to November 17th or 20th. So by the time you'll see the release getting updated in the production, but again, immediately you cannot do certification, right? So we'll wait for 1 week or 2 weeks, or maybe by end of November or first week of December, they'll be updating the certification version. Any questions on certification? So because I have selected my country as India, it is showing the Indian timings or no, the currency in India. But if you are in a different country, just select that country. You'll find the price in your local country. Okay.
Yes.
So we'll stop it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow with new
Venu,
topic.
what is the validity of the certification?
That we'll talk in tomorrow's session. I'll tell you about how to keep your certification active. You know how many. See, before there's something called deltas which you'll have to do after every release. Okay, so that topic it takes some time for to discuss about the validity. Okay, that we'll do in tomorrow's session.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you all. Have a great day, and we'll catch up tomorrow.
Yes. Thanks.
Thank you, Venu. Thank you.
Okay, so where are we? We're discussing about certification, right?
Yes.
So we'll be closing today. We'll be closing a bit early, like 5 minutes early. I have hard stop at 8 p.m. I need to join another meeting, so we'll be closing by 7:55 today instead of 8. Okay. So let's quickly start. So yesterday's session we discussed about the release management and we have discussed about the certification. So how to do the certification, where to subscribe for your certification, and how to enroll and how to do the certification. Okay, so we have 2 different attempts, like 6 attempts and 1 attempt. Okay, so once you are certified, so you will be getting a S user ID here. When you register with training.sap.com and when you are certified, you'll be getting a S user ID. Now with this S user ID, you can log into the portals like it can be community.successfactors.com or the training.sap.com. Okay. Now, whenever you join any organization, any implementation partner, so this S user ID would be something like this. Okay. Let's say this is your S user ID. So you will have to share this S user ID with the implementation partner. Now, if you are joining Deloitte, Deloitte will convert this S user ID into another S user ID. Okay. So let's say this is the ID. Now, after working for 1 year or 2 years in Deloitte and you're moving to IBM, you need to share this as user ID. So all of your certificates will be transferred to this ID, and from this ID, it will be transferred to this ID. Okay. So this is your partner ID. Is called your partner ID or the S user ID associated with the implementation partner. Now you can get provisioning access with this ID. You cannot get provisioning access with this ID, though you're certified with the same user ID. You will not be getting provisioning access with this ID because this ID is not associated with implementation partner. Provisioning access is given to certified consultants only if they are associated with implementation partner. Let's say if I'm certified but I'm not associated with any implementation partner, I'll not be able to do the freelancing projects. I will not get provisioning access. I need to depend on someone for the provisioning access if I want to do the implementation. Okay, so you should always be associated with implementation partner to get the provisioning access. Okay, now after certification, now if you have done your certification with 2305 version, 2305, this is the latest version what we have. If you try to subscribe for training.sap.com certification, you'll see that the THR81 is in this version of 2305. Now let's say you have done your certification with 2305 and in 2311, the next version is 2311. You are supposed to clear a delta or stay current exam. Okay, and this can be done through Learning Hub portal. There is a portal called Learning Hub, and this is given by the implementation partners. Your implementation partners will be giving you the Learning Hub access. Every organization that you join, they'll be giving you the Learning Hub access. And you can log into Learning Hub access and do your stay currents or delta. So when the stay current will contain only questions related to that particular release, whatever release features that have come in 2311. So some of those important ones, they will be adding or they'll be giving you in the certification or in the stay currents. So once you pass the stay currents, any number of times can be done. Stay currents, there is no limitation, like you'll have 5 to 6 questions or maximum of 7 to 8 questions. This release, we don't have those many functionalities or the features also. Okay, so you will find maybe 3 or 4 or 5 questions max. So you can just answer those questions correctly and then get your certificate updated to the next version. Okay, so I'm sorry. So next version would be 2405. Next version would be 2411. So you need to keep on clearing the stay currents. If you don't do the stay current, 2311, if you missed the stay current, if you have not done the stay current, you will have to do certification here again, 2405. You'll not be able to do stay current because you have not done stay current here. You need to keep on writing the stay currents in each release. If you miss any of the stay currents, then your certificate will be lapsed and you need to do your certification again. Okay? Is that clear?
How many questions did you say would be in the stay current?
Sorry?
How many questions?
Questions, it depends upon the release and the number of features that have come in that release. Okay, Employee Central, most of the times you will see a lot of features in the Employee Central. So you will see maximum of 10 questions. Anywhere between 5 to 10 questions. One release you'll have 5 questions, one release you'll have 6, one release you'll have 7, and so on. You can take up this stay current any number of times. Only thing is you need to pass or you need to answer all of the questions correctly. So you will be given like cheat sheet, like they'll give you the topics in which you'll be getting the questions. You just go through those questions, you just go through the content and then answer this stay current. It is very easy.
But we are not paying for it, right?
No, company is paying for you. Learning hubs are generally provided by your implementation partner. You can also take the learning hub access on your own. But they are very expensive, not like training.sap.com where you get, for 20,000 you're getting 1 attempt, and for 40,000, 45,000 you're getting 6 attempts, right? So this would be somewhere around 2.5 to 3 lakhs per year. So generally users will not take. Only the companies will be providing, the implementation partners will be giving you the learning hub, because getting certified is your responsibility to get into the project. And keeping your certification active is the responsibility of the implementation partner. They will not be allowed to place you into the projects if you don't have certification. They'll have to pay you again certification hub to get certified. Okay, so that's why they'll give the learning hub access as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other doubts here? Okay, let's move to another topic, which is partner edge. Partner edge, as the name says, again, you can log into partner edge using the S user ID shared by your implementation partner. Okay, as the name says, the partner edge. So this is only for the implementation partners. You can log into this portal using the partner ID. Okay, one which is shared by your implementation partner. So what do we get here? When you log into partner edge, you will get all the documents like configuration, workbook, implementation guides, and then you'll find the kickoff templates. So all of these documents you can download from partner edge. Okay, let's go and see what is PartnerEdge. When you log into PartnerEdge, you go to Products, SuccessFactors HXM Suite, select SuccessFactors HXM Suite, and then Implement, Tools and Assets, SuccessFactors, Implement, Tools and Assets, and then scroll down. You'll find Explore Implementation Resources by SAP SuccessFactors Solution. Explore. Here you see core HR and payroll. So these are the modules of core HR and payroll. And then you have talent modules like compensation, learning, onboarding, performance, recruiting, succession, and performance. So these are the talent management related modules. Okay, let's go to Employee Central, SuccessFactors Employee Central. The first thing that we have here is implementation and administration guides. So every release, SuccessFactors would be updating the implementation guide. So this is like a Bible for us. Okay. So whatever configurations that we do in the system, we'll have to refer this implementation guide. So this will guide you how to start the implementation, what steps we need to take to configure the system. Okay. Implementing Employee Central Core. This is the main document. So it is around 300 or 350 pages odd document. Okay, if you download the document, full document, it is worth printing and keeping it handy because it explains you each and every step in detail, what needs to be done, why we have to do. Okay, now if you see here, this is the latest version, 2H 2022. After 2H 2022, they have not updated, and this is the latest version. Just now I have downloaded. So this will have, once you go and see here, configuring the system. So it starts from here. What are the configuration tasks we have to do? So each and every step they will explain, like where to navigate, how to navigate, okay, what steps are important. So before this also we have something called sequence of implementation. Yeah, here. Comparing Employee Central and Employee Profile, and then we have recommended implementation sequence. This is the recommended implementation sequence for partners and consultants. We strongly recommend that you follow this sequence for the first few implementations and discuss any variations with team lead. To help with your implementation, we recommend following sequence of steps. So it explains you the steps, like what needs to be done. This is the first step, what we have to do, second step, third step. So there are around 18 to 19 steps which we will have to follow for any implementation. And then each step, they will show you how to navigate, where should you go, and what is to be configured. Wherever possible, they'll also give some screenshots. There are some optional features as well, optional settings as well. If required for your customer, you can enable it or you can leave it. Okay, so this is there in the drive. Now, one material which I refer you to, refer you people, keeping it handy is the implementation guide. Very, very important. So entire your certification questions will be from this implementation guide only. Okay, mostly. Other than the scenario questions, you will find all of them in the same document. Clear on implementation guide? And then next is configuration workbooks. Again, these are also important. So when you start interacting with the customer, you will have to share some documents with them for getting the requirements from customer. Okay, like for Employee Central, we have these workbooks. Employee Central Foundation Object Workbook, Employee Central Employee Data Workbook, Benefits, HR Transaction, Position Management, and People Central Hub. So these are the workbooks which you need to download from the PartnerEdge. Okay, now first is Foundation Object. Let me also download Employee Data. I'll show you first employee data. It would be easy for you to understand. So what do we have in employee data workbook or foundation object or or any of these workbooks. If I open SuccessFactors instance, okay, now all of the employees master data is maintained in a page called people profile. Okay, so if I go here, click on home, employee files. I go to employee files. This will open up my profile. Whichever user logs into the system, systems open up the employee's profile. Okay, so I have logged in as Laurent. I've logged in as Laurent. So this is the people profile page of Laurent. Okay, now here also still loading. So this will show all the information about Laurent. Personal information. Now you see here at the right hand side corner, you see the person who logged in is Laurent. Okay, so this user's details, personal information, there are some fields here, first name, last name, middle name, salutation, and so on. Okay, so these are maintained for this employee. And if I want to edit or maintain any data, you can go edit the details. Here, first name is a mandatory field. For whichever field you see the star, this is a mandatory field. First name is mandatory, last name is mandatory, middle name is optional. Marital status since, this is a date field. Okay, so you'll find the calendar here. This is a date field. Gender is a drop down field with some values. Display name is a text field. Marital status is a drop down field. So all of these fields are in employee data workbook. You go to employee data workbook, you will find here all of the portlets, starting from biographical information, personal information, and so on. Now in the personal information, what we have seen, the first name, last name, and all. So this is the configuration workbook where each and every field of the people profile are maintained. Okay, now if I open this book, you see here first name. This is the system field ID called first name. What you see in the front end is the first name, this one. Okay, this is the ID of the field, and this is the label what you see in the front end. This is a text field. Maximum length of 128 characters. This allows you to input maximum of 128 characters. And if your customer says, I want to have only 20 characters, okay, so they will change this and highlight this. This should be allowed, this should allow only 20 characters. Now, if I try to maintain here, okay, let me see here. This is of 25 characters here. That means somebody has changed this length. The actual length of this field is 128 characters, but somebody has changed it to 25. Okay, they changed to 25 characters. It allows only 25 characters. This is a mandatory field. Now, first name, if customer want to change it to something else called surname, they will name it here. This is the label what they want to see. They will highlight this. Now, looking at the configuration workbook, we know that customer want to change this maximum length to 25 characters, and the label they want to rename it to surname from first name. The first name is to be renamed to surname. Visibility is edit, that means you can edit this field. And mandatory, yes or no, this is mandatory field. Okay, let's say middle name also they want to have mandatory. So what they'll do, they'll go to middle name, they will set it to mandatory, yes. This will have to change the configuration. So for each portlet and each field, they will specify like I want to have this field as mandatory. Now we have a field called business last name and second last name, but these are not editable. Visibility, it says none. Visibility, it says none. If you want to use this field, customer will go say this is edit. They want to use it. Now this is configuration what we have to do. We'll have to rename the first name field to surname. We'll have to make this field mandatory. We'll have to make this field, we'll have to make this editable field. So all of these changes we'll have to do in personal information. Similarly, we have biographical information. Here you see person ID, date of birth, country of birth, region of birth. Okay, so what are enabled? These are enabled, and this field is not enabled, place of birth. So you don't see this field. In the front end, you don't see this field, but it is available in the standard system. If you want to enable, you can go and enable it. Have biographical information. So these are the fields. So whatever fields they want to have, they will be highlighting them in this configuration workbook. It contains all of the portlets what you see, like national ID information, phone information, email information, payment information, address information, emergency contact. So all of these portlets or all of these blocks are available here. You have job information, comp information, what fields you want to show. Okay, how many characters each field allows. Okay, whether it is editable field or whether it is showing up in the front end or not, what is the label that you want to show, whether it is a mandatory field or optional field. So all of these things you will have to do it in the configuration. Clear? Yes, no.
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Next is
Yeah.
go ahead.
Suppose this is for only for implementation time that workbook will maintain, or every time?
No, every time, even in the support, if customer want to have after implementation, if customer want to have additional fields, now maybe I want to include one more field in personal information, then also you'll have to go and update your configuration workbook.
Okay, yeah.
This
That
is
time
where
every
you'll
time,
find, yes, every time
you
you'll
need to
have to maintain it.
no, every time you need to download the new this one, or
No,
already
no,
existing.
no. You'll not be downloading it every time. So once you have downloaded, you'll be sharing it with the customer. Customer will fill all of these documents. They'll give it back to you. Okay. Now, as per this workbooks, you'll have to configure, and this you will keep it as a source of truth. Okay.
Okay. So next time
Now,
again,
every
if
time,
I'm getting
next
any,
time, whenever your customer says, I want to change this again, you'll have to go and update that in the configuration workbook as well. This is what you have changed, because if now you are working as a support consultant for them. Tomorrow you leave the organization, or now a partner has decided, or customer has decided to go with a different partner. Now, most of the times it happens that implementation is done by one partner, like say we have Coca-Cola product. Okay, we have Coca-Cola project. So this is implemented by, let's say, Deloitte. Need not to be now the support, when they go for support, it is not necessary that Deloitte would be supporting them. It can go to Accenture for support. So how will Accenture know what Deloitte has configured? In the knowledge transfer in the KT sessions, they will have to share the configuration workbooks with Accenture. So Accenture has supported for 3 years or 5 years. After 5 years, again Coca-Cola want to change the support partner to something else. Let's say Cognizant. So how will Cognizant people know what is configured in the system? Accenture has to share the updated configuration workbooks with Cognizant. Okay,
Got it.
got it. So within Employee Central, we have employee data workbook. We have foundation object workbook. Now this is employee data workbook we have seen. This is all about employee data. Then we also have foundation object workbook. Let me see if we have downloaded that. Okay, this one. Foundation objects is all about the organization structure elements. What is the company that they want to have? Now here in the system, while creating a company, I'll just show you where do we create company and all, and then I'll give you these navigations. Okay, when we start the configuration. Now this is a place where you'll go and create a company. Now first thing that you do it in the instance is creation of a company. You need to understand what is your customer's company name. Okay, what is the date, start date of the company? So this is where you'll be adding the details, the company details. Okay, start date of the company, company ID. Now all of these fields, what you see, these are mentioned in foundation object workbook. You see here external code, this is called legal entity ID. But what we see here, we have changed it to company ID. The standard name what SuccessFactors has given is legal entity ID, but we have changed it to company ID because customer wanted to have this as a company ID, and this one is company name. Okay, so these two are the labels what needs to be changed. Now this allows you to input 32 characters. Here if I try to input some, then it says reach the maximum length of 32 characters. Okay, it allows only 32 characters. So what fields we see in company object, okay, and whether a field is mandatory or optional, whether it is a text field or a date field or a numeric field. So all of those are maintained. Again, legal entity data, company, and then company data. If your customer says, I have 10 companies, I want you to maintain 10 different companies. Let's say company 1, company 2, and so on. I'll give the codes. Let's say this is 1000, this is 2000, and so on. Okay, this is my company codes, and the name is company 1, and so on. They'll give you these details. So each and every object, now this is your business unit, this is your division, this is the department. Your customer will be giving you the details of each object. This is your department. Okay, and then department data. So they'll give here, let's say I want to have a department called HR. Name is human resources. So they'll have to give all of the details here. Finance. Okay, sales. So they'll give this data. So these things you'll have to maintain it in the system. So you'll have to go here, want to create a department, go for department, create the department here. Create department here. The foundation data is all about the configuration of the org structure elements like your company, business unit, division, department, location, pay grade, pay component, geo zone. Okay, so these are all called foundation objects. The cost center, location group. So all of these are called the foundation objects. I'll now speak about the foundation objects and all while when we configure these things in the system. Okay. So we have employee data, we have foundation data, and then we have HR transactions. There's a implementation workbook called HR transactions. This one, EC HR transaction workbooks. HR transactions, each and every event that your customer wants to have in the system. Events are nothing but the transactions that we perform on employee, starting from hire till termination. In between hire and termination, we may do a transfer. We may do a promotion. We may do a data change. We may do a suspension. Okay, we may do termination and so on. So all of these are the events, and these are called either events or transactions. So SuccessFactors gives us some standard events in the system, and you cannot create any additional events. There are around 25 to 30 standard events available in the system. For each and every event, you can define any number of event regions. Like for transfer, you can have location transfer, you can have manager transfer, you can have department transfer, you can have country transfer, you can have company transfer. So these are all event reasons for event transfer. So similarly, you can have promotions. promotion with grade change, promotion with salary change, promotion with both grade and salary change. So these are all promotion related. Termination, you can have voluntary termination, involuntary termination, death of an employee, or employee resignation, or better opportunity. So these are all event reasons for the terminations. So when do you want each of these event reason to occur? Whenever user changes the location of the employee. So I want location event reason to be triggered. Whenever employee's manager is changed, I want manager transfer to happen in the system. Whenever user's grade is changed, I want system to trigger a promotion. So these things you will be adding it in the transactions workbook. Position management is all about position. Every employee in the organization should be holding one position. We'll be looking at, we'll be creating positions and we'll use the position to hire an employee. What happens when a position is filled? Position will not show up for next hire because that position is already filled. Okay, so all of these settings are maintained in position management settings. How do you want the position data to display? What data you want to maintain? You want to have position code auto generated, or you want to keep it as a manual? Whether you want to allow multiple employees in the position or not. So all of those details you'll find it in employee EC position management. And then people central hub is the combination of employee data, foundation object, and HR transaction. This is the combination of HR transactions, employee data, and foundation object. Okay. So this is about your configuration workbook. Benefits, not every customer goes with the benefits. Employee central, along with the employee central, if customer want to go with benefits, you can also download benefits and share with the customer. Okay, so that's about the configuration workbooks. Next is on the people central hub. Sorry, next is on the kickoff template. You go back. Here you have kickoff template. So I have the document opened here, kickoff template. Now, initially, you will have to explain the customer what is available in SuccessFactors system. How will customer know what details are to be filled? What details are to be maintained in personal information? What are the foundation objects? What is a department? What is a company, or what is a legal entity? What is business unit? What object, what data is held in each of these objects? So all of this is explained in kickoff template. This is your kickoff template. Okay, now you need to explain this to the customer. This is downloaded from the partner it. Okay, it gives you agenda like what introduction, what is employee central, and then give a demo. Then take a break. Then how do we implement in EC? What is the project plan? How you're going to do? Okay, first day ends. Second day you start with the foundation tables and so on. So this is the agenda for each day. So while giving the demo to the customer, you need to explain what is Employee Central. What is Employee Central? Employee Central is all about maintenance of master data in the system. And it starts with the setting up of foundation data. Now, as the name says, foundation data, the pillars or the base for the Employee Central. Okay, this is called now the org structure, the pay structure, job structure. These are the foundation elements of Employee Central. Now, within organization data, you need to understand your company structure, your customer's company structure. What is the how many companies they have, in what all locations they operate, what are the departments that they have in each of those companies, how many org units they have, how many business units they have, how many divisions they have. So we need to find out all of these things. That's your org structure. You build the org structure first, and then similarly the job structure and the pay structure, like what are the grades that they have, what are the pay components that they want to use, what is the salary ranges that they want to have for each of these grades. So you need to identify all of them. Okay, now system gives you all of these standard objects. Additionally, if you want to, if your customer has a custom requirement, now we have a standard org structure elements like company, business unit, division, department, cost center. These are the org structure elements. But if your customer says, I want to have another object called function, or another object called org unit, or another object called sub function or sub department, so these can also be configured, and this will be the part of the custom structure. This is custom objects which can be part of the regular org structure. Now, SuccessFactors gives you the standard structure like company, business unit, division, department. So this is the flow. And then in between, if you want to have your custom object, maybe a function or maybe an org unit or maybe a sub function or a subdivision or a sub department, you can also create them. That's the foundation data. Once you have all of this foundation data set up, you will go and hire the employees. While hiring the employees, you'll have to maintain a lot of details for each employee, like employees' personal details that we have seen, like first name, last name, and so on. So you need to fill employees' email information, contact information, address information, comp information, job info. So there are a lot of information you'll have to maintain for each employee. And this data is split into two parts: effective dated, non-effective dated. Or you can say the highest level is your personal information and employment information. All of the data is split into two parts: personal information and employment information. Within personal information, you will see non-effective dated and effective dated. Meaning, if it is effective dated, every record that you try to maintain, system will ask you an effective date. Let's say I have created a personal information record. Personal information is a effective dated portlet. Let's say while hiring the employee, I've maintained the details as 1/1/2023, employee's first name, last name, middle name, so on, gender, and then employee's marital status as single. After 6 months, employee got married. So you will have to insert one more record saying that once starting from 1/6/2023, employee's marital status is changed to single. Maybe after 2 years or 3 years, employees divorce, or when employees become a widow, so you'll have to go change the status of the employee. Or in the job information or the employment information also, you have some effective dated portlets. Some portlets are not effective dated, like your biographical information. Throughout your life, you will have only one date of birth. Your date of birth will not change. If the date of birth is wrong, you go correct it. But you cannot maintain it as effective dated. Last year my date of birth is Feb and this year my date of birth is March. No, you cannot maintain that. So that's non-effective dated. So there are some portlets which are non-effective dated and some portlets which are effective dated. So if I have to show you that in the system, example can be this one. If I go to my employee file, wherever you see a effective dated portlet, you can make out it with the clock icon. You see here, history. This is called history. Okay, this is effective dated and this is non-effective dated. Biographical information, you will not see history. You don't see the clock icon because this is not effective dated. You can go change the record. Pencil icon is to change the record, but you cannot insert a new record. You have email information, you have address information. Okay, address is effective dated. You see the history. Okay, and so on. You also have employment related details, job and comp informations. Again, you have effective dated, non-effective dated. Each of these portlets contains the fields, both standard and custom fields. If your customer want to have custom field in personal data, you can go create a personal field. You can go create a custom field there. So you want to have a custom field in job information, you can go and create it. So that's what it says. Standard and custom fields in any of these portlets. Be it effective dated or non-effective dated, you want to add a field, hide a field, modify a field, you can do all of this through configuration. And each and every record that you maintain in job information and comp information. You need to tell the system what is the event that you are performing. When you are changing location, that's a transfer. When you are changing grade, that's a promotion or a demotion. When you're changing the salary, whether it is salary increment or promotion or demotion, or it can be anything. So each and every event that you insert in job or the comp information should have the event and event reasons. So what are the events that your customer want to have? What event reasons that your customer want to have? That we'll have to configure in the system. Again, every record that you process, system might ask you for approvals. Let's say I'm changing personal information of the employee. Okay, let's say I'll go change the personal information of the employee starting from 16th of October. I want to change the middle name of the employee. Last name I've changed it to this one. And if you save this record, if there is a workflow defined, approval process defined, so system will trigger approval saying that submitting personal information change request for Laurent, because employee is changing the name, so it should go to approval. So whom should it go? Maybe the manager of the employee, HR of the employees, okay, or a particular CEO or a director, or any person. So this is the workflow that is defined here for personal information change. Similarly, when you're transferring employee, do you want to have any approval process defined? You want to promote an employee, do you want to have approval process defined? So all of this can be done in the system. You can have any levels of approval, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, any number of levels of approval can be created in the system. That's your people profile. So people profile contains standard portlets. Now these are all standard portlets. Biographical, phone, email, address, personal detail, job, compensation. So all of these are standard. If your customer want to have some custom portlets like a health details, medical history, or vaccination details, assets issue details, or uniform issue details. So these are not available in the standard system. But if your customer want to have them in the system, we can get the requirement from the customer and create the custom blocks or the portlets similar to these ones. Again, it can be effective dated or it can be non-effective dated. So we can also create some custom portlets. So that's what it says. A custom portlets can also be created. Clear on this page? What is EC? What do we do in EC? So we'll be doing all of these things. We'll start with the foundation data. When we start the implementation, we'll go first configure the foundation data. Later, we'll go and hire the employee and we'll see what are the fields that are available for while hiring the employees. We'll also see how to maintain the bulk data, like it can be bulk companies, bulk positions, bulk departments, bulk locations to be created, or bulk employees to be maintained. So all of this we'll see through uploads. And then we'll go and see the workflows, how to configure the workflows, how to set up the custom fields, how to set up the custom portlets and all. So all of this is covered. Next. Now, whatever that we have discussed so far, this is the employee central core, but we also have additional or optional additions like time off and timesheet. Time off is all about attendance and leaves. Okay, this is part of EC, but an optional addition to EC. Customer may or may not be required these modules to be implemented. Now, if they want to have, you can go and configure time off and timesheet, global assignment, concurrent employment, or contingent workforce. All of these things are additional options. If customer want to have, you'll have to configure them in the system. These can also be part of your people profile. In short, foundation object is all about your org structure, job structure, and pay structure. In employee data, you have both standard portlets and the configurable portlet contents. Events and event reasons, you have standard events. For each event, you create some event reasons, and these event reasons you tag it to your job information, comp information. You can also configure the workflows. You have role-based permissions, which is security, which is all about the security. What employee should see when they log into the system? What HR can see or HR can do when HR logs into the system? What a consultant can do when consultant logs into the system? So that is defined in role-based permissions, depending on the role that is assigned to the employee. If I am an employee, I will have only limited access. If I am a manager, I'll have some, along with the employees access, I'll have some additional options so that I can go and edit my direct reports data also. HR can edit any employee data in the organization. Consultants will have configuration access also. So all of this is defined in RBP. So we'll see data imports, how to import the data, how to do mass changes, how the workflows are triggered, how to change the themes, like what, if you want to have your own picture in the background, or if you want to change the themes or change the colors, change the background. So all of this can be done in the system. Clear? Any doubts? Before we go to next step? Yes, no? Okay. So quickly, we have, I think, 5-7 minutes of time. We can complete this part as well. So the implementation methodology that we follow for implementing success factors to the customer is called activate methodology. So every application has got a different methodologies and in SAP we follow the methodology called activate methodology. Earlier we were using a methodology called BizExpert. Now SuccessFactors or SAP is recommending us to follow the activate methodology. So what do we do in this activate methodologies? Activate methodology is split into 4 phases: prepare, explore, realize, and deploy. These are the 4 phases of activate methodology. Now your project, the entire implementation project is split into different phases. In the prepare phase, generally the team is finalized. Who would be working in the project? How many lead consultants, how many consultants, what modules are to be implemented, when are we going to start the project, when the project is going live, when will we be doing the testing. So all of this is done in the prepare phase. Okay, and then slowly we will start interacting with the customer and get the requirements from the customer in the explore phase, where you will find the gaps between the actual requirements and the availability of the features in the application. So how are you going to fill these gaps? Now if your customer says something and that is not available in the system, so how you are going to fill that gap? You want to customize it, or if it is not possible in the system, what is the best alternate solution that you can provide? Okay, so you find out the gaps, you close the gaps, and then in the realize phase, the third phase, you will start with the configuration. You do the unit testing, and then you move the configuration to quality system. You ask your customer to test it. If customer says, okay, this is completed, tested, everything working fine, then you move all of this configuration to production system here in deploy. Okay, so these are the 4 phases of the implementation. So each of the phase explained in detail, like what do we do in prepare phase, explore phase, realize phase, and deploy phase. Your interviewer might ask you the question, now what methodology have you followed to implement success factors? You can say activate methodology. What are the phases of activate methodology? So you can say prepare, explore, realize, and deploy. Okay, now while doing the testing, okay, in the realize phase you will be doing the testing. Okay, and in the testing phase we follow the 3 iteration methodology. Iteration meaning, 1 iteration meaning customer filling the workbooks, they will share it with the implementation partner. Okay, so implement, now here SAP means implementation partner. SAP or implementation partner will configure and does the unit testing. in development system. This will be moved to quality and your customer would be reviewing that configuration. And in the first, now this is one iteration. In the first iteration, your customer might come up with a lot of changes because that is the first time that your customer is looking at their data in the system. So they might come up with a lot of changes. Maybe like I need these fields to be hidden, or I need some extra fields to be added. I want to change the org structure a bit. So you'll get a lot of changes here. So all of those changes are again tracked in the configuration workbook. Again, we start updating the workbooks, configuring it in the system, moving it to quality. Again, now your customer would look at the data. Again, they will be asking some changes. So like this, we can have maximum of 3 iterations. And in these 3 iterations, we'll have to complete the configuration. And the configuration is sign off. Again, each phase, what do we do? Like first iteration, foundation data is agreed 80 to 90%. Like what company, what is the company, what are the departments, what are the grades. So you'll almost like 80 to 90, or you can say up to 100% also sometimes. Maybe after first iteration, they might come up with small changes, like maybe I want to add one more department or add some more grades, or maybe remove some of the grades. So they'll come up with simple changes like that. Employee data, so maybe a field needs to be added, maybe the attribute needs to be changed, or maybe you'll have to create a new portlet. So those changes will come after first iteration. So the first phase is called define. In the first iteration, it is called define. Second iteration is refine, and third iteration is finalize. So in the second iteration, you'll complete the foundation data, you'll complete the employee data, and you'll start working on the permissioning part and on the workflows. Okay, so these are completed in the third iteration. Again, each of those iterations explained in detail. Okay, this is iteration 3. Clear? So who does what? In the iteration 1, complete sign off and return workbooks. It is the responsibility of the customer. Who supports? Implementation partner supports. Configuration and the unit testing is done by implementation partner. Supporting is done by customer. This is iteration 1. Iteration 2 and iteration 3. Okay.
Yes.
Clear on implementation methodology, configuration workbooks, kickoff template.
Yes.
So we'll stop it here for today. We'll continue on Monday. So there are some minor topics left in the theoretical part, like how to get the provisioning access, what is Launchpad. We'll discuss these things and we'll move to practical part on Monday itself.
Venu, can you
Sounds
give me
good?
a brief explanation, simple explanation of what's the difference between this implementation versus rollout?
So implementation is a fresh configuration for a customer who doesn't have success factors with them. Rollout is something which is configured implemented in a different phases. Like you have your operations in different countries. US, you have a company. Again, this company is there in the UK also. You have this company in the Saudi or Middle East as well. So the implementation is done instead of implementing for all of these countries in one go. You roll out the phases. Like first you do for US. Now for maybe for UK, you have a different configurations to be done. Some of them are common as US, but there are some additional changes. Maybe for UK, within personal information, they want to have some additional fields to be added. Like UK has got fields specific to that country. Middle East or Saudi, they have fields specific to their country. So you want to configure some additional configurations in country-wise configurations. That's
Like in
called
India, it is
the
Aadhaar.
rollout.
Like in India, it's Aadhaar card. Like in US, it's SSN number. Likewise, the
Yes.
country was
Yes.
depends. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
languages also languages translations also comes under this, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll stop it here. Have a great weekend. Okay. So
Yeah.
this weekend you don't have anything to practice. Just go through the recordings, once. Then from Monday we will start the configuration. We'll do the get into system.
Will this PPT be shared to us?
Yes, it is. It is there in the drive. All of you will be getting this access. You can download.
Okay.
Okay, can we have access to this even today?
Yes, this will be shared today itself.
Oh, great. Great. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Yeah.
Catch up on Monday.
Yeah, wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.